So this is just a quick update. I'm sorry if there's background noise. I've got the window open. It's really nice out today. It's foggy but nice. Anyway, so as I was leaving the apartment this morning, I was taking some stuff to storage, and I had a big cart that I was using. So there was a sign on one of the doors, right, that with the larger doors where there's more room to get through, that it wasn't working. And it said, use the door on the south side of the building. So I did. I went to the door on the south side of the building and I used it. Okay. But as I'm out on the outside now, one of the new maintenance guys, he comes by, he holds up his cell phone, like it looks like he's recording or taking a picture of the sign on that door. And then in my direction, he's also pointing the cell phone. So what he would have is like a video of me or a picture of me standing on the outside of that door, and he would also get the what it says on the sign on the inside of the door. Okay, what does it say? Don't use this door. Use the one to the north. Okay. Normally we don't use that door, but today there was a sign on the door to the north saying that because that was broken, if we have something to move, like if we have packages or something that won't fit in the revolving door, we should use the door to the south. So if someone had just seen the picture that I'm guessing he took, they would assume that I was, going against the rules. I was breaking the rules, when in reality I was following the rules. Moving on. So I was exhausted today. This is going to be my last month in this apartment. And I already have the other apartment. I've been moving stuff little by little, and the movers came to move a few heavier items finally. But I have to be out at the end of the month. So I'm tired. And this morning before I went to see my mom, I stopped for coffee. And as I was walking in, some guy walked in before me. Okay, very Eastern European, right, as always. He was saying something to the cashier, to the guy behind the counter, kind of almost leaning in, and they both looked at me and they looked back at each other, and the guy behind the counter looked at me again, and the guy gave him something. The guy who went in before me gave the guy behind the counter something. It wasn't cash. And then he left. He didn't order anything. And the guy behind the counter looked kind of nervous, but he took my order anyway. And as I walked out, that guy who had come in before me, he had been parked along the side and he was waiting for me to come out. He as soon as I came out, he stuck his head out of the car. He looked over at me before pulling off. He wanted me to know that something was up. It just gets crazier and crazier. Not to mention that they're parroting again. They're having directed conversations, but they're like repeating to me things that I say to my mom in private. Like, and I've explained this before. I repeat to my mom that I love her and that I miss her, right? Because now she can actually understand that. And for a long time, I was afraid. For a long time, she couldn't understand anything, and I was afraid that she wouldn't know, and that I would never be able to tell her. So now I do try to repeat that as much as I can. Because before this, we didn't, before her stroke, it's just we weren't on good terms. And I was angry, I was angry about being a caregiver, and I was not the best person. And I was terrified that I would lose. But when she had the stroke, I was terrified I would lose her. And when she didn't understand anything that was said to her, I was terrified that I would never be able to let her know that I love her. So now I try to do that. So what do the perpetrators do? They actually have people come by and over-exaggerate conversations that I have with my mom and things that I say to her, and they repeat, I love you, I love you, I love you, in just the most dramatic, exaggerated way. It's perverse. It is fucking perverse. And smiling and laughing and as if it's a big joke. I mean, how sick does someone have to be to do this to someone? Anyway, more updates later, I assume.